a client of mine was creating some content and for social media, and it was really great, doing great with storytelling, doing great with all these things, and then it got to the how-to part of the content. Let's talk about how-to parts, how-to content. This is Mark Silver with Heart of Business, and the thing about creating content is that we want to help them. I did a video recently where the whole idea behind the marketing was get the help to the people, get the help to the people. And we interpret that, a lot of people interpret that as get all of the help to everybody. And this makes your content indigestible. God, the sun is really bright, which is really nice after days of rain, but I think the camera isn't working so well. All right. It makes it really indigestible. And so I want to tell you why you should do very limited how-to content in any particular piece of content. And it's not because, you're holding out on them until they pay, and it's not because people won't appreciate it, and it's none of those kind of like miserly reasons. There's actually two big reasons. One is consent. I have individual clients, I have members of our learning community, people in my courses. They have consented to do in-depth work. And we do in-depth work. That's what we do. We dive in deep, we get all the work done, we map out their business, map out strategy, work through healing, do a lot of deep stuff, and it works. People on your list or in your social audience have not consented to be put through a 3-hour workshop or a 1-hour coaching session or a practice healing session or whatever it is. They just haven't consented to that depth of work. The second reason is that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. If someone comes across your content and you have like 7 steps for them to get through, and each step takes 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes to do, they're not going to do it. They're going to set it aside. And they'll say, I'll get to it later when I have time, and guess what? They never have time, so they never get to it. And then what happens? Well, when you have a bunch of undigested content, uneaten content, people think, look at this offer that they have coming up. You know what? I'm going to go finish that unused content, all that free content. When I get through that, then I'll take them up on a paid offer. Then I'll do it. It's not always true. Nothing is 100% true all the time. Sometimes people will say, I can't get through this on my own. I need some help. That does happen, of course. But a lot of times people blame themselves. They don't think, this is too much. They think, I'm no good at this. And if they're thinking that, then you've lost them. And it's really painful. So, why do we give so much content? Why do we give really in-depth exercises? Part of the reason is just wanting to get people help. But another part of the reason is that we have lost perspective. As the expert, as the practitioner, you have forgotten what beginner really looks like. I see people, put in a to-do step like, feel all your emotions and write them out. That kind of a step. A lot of people are not fluid enough to name their emotions. We forget this. We forget how much work we have to do to be good with those things. Here's what I want you to do. Here's the beginner step that I'm inviting you to do for your content. Is I want you to look at a piece of content that maybe you created with some to-do steps in it, or maybe one that you're thinking of, and take one of those steps and say to yourself, like, think about it, for somebody who's had no training, doesn't have your background at all, is a complete newcomer. One, how long would it take them to do it? You know, would it take longer than 10 or 15 or 20 minutes to do that one step reasonably? And two, is it even possible for them to do it? Do you think that the majority of brand new clients that come to you, people who have never done the work at all, have the background and the skill and the self-awareness to do the step that you're describing at all? Or are they just going to hit a bunch of frustration and collapse? And then, if you find that this resonates at all, that it's like, oops, too much, I want you to take one of the steps, and break that one step out into 3 or 4 beginner steps, so that you are kind of microdosing them in the how-to content. Now, when you present it to them, of course you can present it to them like, this is part of a much larger process. This is not meant to get you to the finish line. It's meant to help you get traction with this particular issue. But I want you to just notice how it feels to give a lot less and to find truly beginner bite-size how-tos. And I'd be curious to see what you come up with. If it's messy, you know, whatever you can do with that, let's see it. Let's hear about it. If there's pushback, let's hear about it. All right. Blessings to you and your business.